I'm just filming this. You can see from the TV screen there it's 8:40 in the morning, so I've only just got delivery of the X station. I'll go to my kitchen, and there it is. There are the two screws that fell out when I opened the box, and a little bit of plastic. I'm going to put the camera down now, and you can listen to what the machine sounds like. It's got a bag of sand in it, I don't know. Something's clearly broken off. Sounds like another screw, and it's moving about inside there. And in fact, the entire keyboard, if I can show you, watch, the entire keyboard moves as you move the machine, so the keyboard's not actually attached to the inside. Well, that was a good buy then, wasn't it? Fantastic. Right, this is what I found inside the X station. 3 screws here. They're the 2 that fell out when I took it out of the box. Found a 3rd one in the box. This one and this one I unscrewed from the back of the machine, because I know that there's black ones holding the keyboard, because I checked on YouTube, and the rest managed to come out through the battery compartment. So that is everything that was totally loose, and unfortunately it's everything that holds the keyboard in, which I'll just remind you again what the keyboard's like. Yep. It does work though, I suppose. Right, I've now taken the machine apart, and as you can see, this is the only screw hole that's left on the keyboard. All the rest are broken. GB1, let me see, there's one there broken, one there broken, one there broken, and one there broken. So they're all broken, and they're probably in there somewhere, and I've got to super glue them back on. Right, here's the keyboard out of the machine. You can see what I'm talking about with these broken parts that the screws are supposed to go in that hold the keyboard down. There's the good one. Another missing one there. I also noticed that there's some adhesive around this bit, so someone's obviously taken this keyboard apart once before, which probably explains why the last key doesn't fit well. So I'm going to try and adjust that as well as fix everything else. Right, here's the first one found that fits, so that's clearly the one that went there. So I'm going to super glue that in a second. Right, we can see I've super glued that one into place. This one now, I believe it's the one from there. I have to look without looking through the camera, because otherwise I can't see the damn thing. But yeah, that fits, so that is that one. Right, so that's that one, and that one glued into place. So the final one has to be this one. This is the full ones that I have. Let me just show it going into place, which is going to be some task in itself, I think. There it is. That's that one in place, and that's the last of the whole ones I have. The rest are just broken halves left, so I don't know what I can do about those. Right, so I've glued, is it 4 now, back into place. I'm on the first half one. This is where I've got to be very careful, because I'm going to glue that in a second, and that is where I'm going to get my fingers stuck to the keyboard. Alright. Yep. What did I tell you about sticking my fingers together? There we go. I'm pulling as hard as I can. I cannot pull that apart. It's stuck solid as shit. Alright, so let's review what I've done. I've glued all those back ones back on. That one there was already existing. This is the one, where is it? There, sorry, my fingers. That's the one that I've glued a half back on. Unfortunately, this one here and this one there, although there's sizable chunks of them left, none of the bits left match up to fit the gaps because they've split it into more than one piece. So there's not a lot I can do about that. So I have to go with that and hope that the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that I've got out of the original 8 will actually hold the keyboard in. But of course they were there for a reason. They wouldn't have over-engineered it. Right, the broken key. As you can see, it doesn't level up the other keys. That's because I believe a little bit of plastic in here, if I can get my damn camera on it, oh, the wrong key, that key has snapped off, so it's actually going past the bump stop that aligns it with all the other ones. So what I'm going to do is stick this little bit of plastic that I've left over from the broken pieces on top of the bump stop, making sure I haven't super glued the key down, and then hopefully with that in place it will level up. Right, okay, so when I took the end key off, which is that one here, I found a little bit of plastic, and that is the original bump stop. So now I'm going to super glue that in place, and hopefully all the keys will level up again. Easy to dismantle, it's just a set of springs. Okay, at the 5th attempt, after sticking the piece of plastic to my finger several times, I've now got it back on. You probably can't even see that, but it now has the top bump rest. So all that's left now while that's drying is for me to clean the circuit boards with solvent, and I should have at last a working keyboard, but it's going to be, off the top of my head, just gone 10. So it's been a 2-hour task. I don't really want to put it back together for another half hour at least, whilst the super glue dries, basically, because I don't want to press the keys down and find they don't come back up again. Okay, so I'm just cleaning every circuit board, every pot, every pan, and that should be fixed. And there we go. Keyboard's back on, and you'll note the key is at the right height with all the others. I'm going to give the keyboard a good clean up now with spray, but just hope it all works and I'll put it back together. Right, keyboard connections are now done. All I've got to do now is load the screws into the new created stems, and hopefully the keyboard will be rock hard solid in there. That's my next task anyway. Lovely. Right, all the screws that I could put in are back in. Here's your test. Look, the keyboard doesn't move away from the casing anymore, it comes up with it, so that keyboard is in there quite solidly. Thing I have to remember though is those two, because I couldn't put those bits back together to create the slots for those two screws to go in. The front is actually only held on by one screw. Back's nice and tight, but I must always remember that this one's only held in by one screw, so I shall never do this again, for example, lifting it by the keyboard. Right, put it all back together and see if it works. Right, I've reattached the top to the bottom. I haven't screwed it together yet because I want to test that everything works, and everything does seem to work. Don't know about the batteries yet, but just to prove to you these keys work, if you can just about hear this, because the preamp isn't very high. So, it all now seems to be working, and it's now what? By microwave time, 10:24.